Hey, what is up, everyone? I'm Jubs, and welcome back to All the Mods 7 Skyblock, episode 19. So, since the last time, uh, I did a little bit of efficiency updating for my fissile fuel production. So, I'm currently at 21,000 buckets of fissile fuel. And what I did was I increased the amount of pulverizers to 6. Increased the chemical oxidizers to 4. Added another rotary condensator for the water vapor. I kept these the same. I wasn't having any backlog problems here. I increased. I'll go and show you guys what I did with my ore generation. I increased those because I had a fluorite problem, and then I took the enriching factory, and now I have 4 oxidizers. Um, so yeah, doing this did increase how quickly I was able to make the fissile fuel, but there's still room to improve. I might have to make the room bigger. Probably need more of these because there's still backlog. Also, this importer sometimes, I don't know if it's because the trunk isn't claimed. Actually, this trunk isn't claimed. Hold on. No, it's claimed. Maybe it's because name chunks. Maybe because it's not force chunked. Force. Okay, I'll just force everything. So maybe that's why. Sometimes this wouldn't like autocraft the uranium, and that was causing a problem. So I should technically have more, but is what it is. Pretty much here, I added one. I upgraded the cobble gen to tier 5. I think this one over here is of tier 4. This one's tier 5 too. Okay. So this one, tier 2 cobble gen. This one goes to dust, because I don't really need that many dust products. However, these two are sand products, so I have 2 setups, but it only uses 1 tier 5 cobble gen. And then I have now 2 setups for just gravel. So my fluorite right now is just maxed. Might throw a copper upgrade on here just to increase it. My lead production is kind of spiraled like crazy. And then like my uranium too is like always and same with sulfur. So like they're always gonna be around 16k. So and like same with uranite. So like the resources are there, and I think they generate fast enough to where I shouldn't have a problem. If you guys missed it, the efficiency upgrades I was actually doing on stream at twitch.tv/jub778. So if you want to take a look at that video, there is a VOD up of that for right now. Yeah, you can go check that out over there. Follow if you'd like. And now, let's see what my plan is for today. So, today, I'm gonna try and build the fission reactor. And I'm pretty sure that's all I'll be able to get to because the reactor is huge. Oh, and then because I need to figure out I have to figure out how to build this reactor and then get all the components hooked up. And the other thing is, I did make progress towards towards the advanced solar panel. So I can craft it, except I can't craft it. So like this solar panel. Takes a little bit to calculate because it's such a big recipe. Um, but like as you can see here, I finally have everything. Nothing's grayed out, so I have everything I could possibly want. Problem is apparently I don't have enough CPUs. To be fair, this is a very big recipe, and looking at what I can do, I need 32,000 of these lead ones, and it looks like I can only make either 1,000 to okay, looks like I can make 2,000 at a time. Um, so I guess I could do that over time. Maybe like, but before I even want to like start the process, the problem I'm faced with is I want to build this reactor, right? The reactor takes lead ingots when building, so that might cut into my supply here. So we'll see what happens with that. So first things first, this thing is called the Quantum Entangloporter, and this thing will transport items, fluids, gases, anything you want from one of these to another one of these within your world. It can even do it across dimensions, which is really cool. Now, what I want this to do is, I want it, the reason why we put the fissile fuel in here is because I just want to take the fissile fuel, take it out of the system, put it in here, and then we're going to transport it to where we want to set up the reactor. So I already have fissile fuel linked up. I should probably get acceleration cards. Let me just hook this guy up real quick. If I just plop. And then okay. We'll call this like fission there. And then there we go. So as you can see, I have 1,000 mil. I have a bucket currently in there. So I need a couple accelerators. That should help. There we go. So everything should be, well, at least fissile fuel should enter here now. The cool thing is it's got multiple sides, so I can hook up a couple things if I want to. So we have the fissile fuel in here. Now we need to go to where our reactor is going to be built. Okay, so I'm back. I set up a dimensional portal. Pretty much called a fission reactor. And this is the chunk that I'm going to be building out of. And the reactor is going to be the size of this guy. Well, the inside. So I'm pretty sure that's like 15 by 15 by 15 because the chunk is 16 by 16 by 16. And the other thing is, if you're curious as to how I kind of built this platform, there's this infinity wand that you can then add an angel core, and as long as you have something in your offhand and you right click, look at that, places it in midair magically. So that was really helpful, compared to the way I did it beforehand, where over here or all the way over there, um, I took dirt blocks in the building gadget and like walked my way down there, and then like would undo the old ones except leave like one. It was a process, but yeah. So it would have been nice to know that this existed. Oh, and there's no like key controls for this. Um, the only thing you have to know is if you shift control right click, this is what allows you to like configure your wand. So naturally, when you first build it, it's a construction core. So that's just the normal builder. But then you have to click the angel core to set it. So then you can place the blocks in the air. So I'm back. I made enough reactor glass for the sides. I probably have plenty left for the roof. Um, but now I have to put in the fuel assembly rods. And they kind of go in a checker pattern. So the pattern looks like this. Just like if you were to make a... Pretty sure that's the same kind of concept with the big reactors, which is in this mod pack at least. And then so I'm back. Yeah, about 600 to 800 fuel rods later. I filled up to the level right before the top. That's because I needed to add these control rod assemblies on top of the fuel rod assemblies. And then to finish this, the last layer will be the reactor glass, and also these fission reactor ports. So let me... Hopefully I have enough. We will see. I told to craft 100. I never really know. It's probably a little more than 100. See, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Alright, 10 more. In the meantime, I'm going to start covering this with glass. Maybe I'll just builder gadget this. Gadget. Now I just need to... I'm hoping one more comes out. That would be perfect. Oh wow. Okay. How many extra did I actually have? 22 extra. Very, very strange. Alright, so I think this, if I place this last block, it will complete the multi-block, and I think red particles should show up. No? Oh. Oh well. Oh, there we go. So, that means this works. There we go. However, I need ports. So, I'm gonna put one here. One here. One here. One here. Alright. So, we need, for the fission reactor to work, maybe it was fluids. I don't know. Okay. So, we need 4 different ports. One is for, you have your coolant, you have your fuel, you then have a steam, the heated coolant, and then you have a waste. The front, I think I want the front to be the waste. Okay. So we'll do waste here. Do coolant here. What? Do I need? Is it 2 output waste? Oh wait. Output coolant, input only. I'm not so sure. And then, okay, and then this one's gonna be where I put the fuel in. So, let's see. Pressurized. I don't think I don't think this is a gas. Okay. Okay. So I have the fissile fuel in the reactor now. Now let's see. I was gonna do the water here. So I was looking at my pipes, and I was gonna do an ultimate, but the ultimate fluid pipe only does 10 millibuckets per take, whereas the ultimate mechanical does 32. I say 10,000 millibuckets per take, but this one does 32,000. So hopefully this is enough. Oop. Oh boy. I don't know if this is quick enough. just weird. Look at the fluid. It only does 10,000. Huh. Well, for now, I'm just going to keep it as this and see what happens when I run it. And I'll explain why. I could get more pipe. What if I did something like this? And just like tripled it. I don't know. We'll see. And then I need, is it pressurized tube? There's two things. I need in. I'm gonna make it ultimate trash can. Now I just need to see one thing real quick. I don't know what kind of port I forgot what port I need. I need to figure out what port, and then I need to figure out what to do with this. I'll be right back.
No way of spent
So for the input of the water, it was supposed to be an input mode only, but it seemed to work. I'll leave it how it is. And then, see, the thing is, I feel like this should work. You know, it's a mechanism mod. This is the transfer rate. It should work, right? I hope so. And then the trash can to the output coolant. So the output coolant is the heated coolant. You just plop a trash can on here and it will void off the steam. And then lastly, for this, so the spent waste is a gas. So essentially I could just put a few of these. Because, what is that? 1,000,000, 2,000,000, 3,000,000. Just be safe. So, pretty much, these pipes can hold 1,000,000 millibuckets of spent nuclear waste in. So it's a storage system of its own. Hopefully the water is okay. And then I have the fuel. Okay. So there's a few things that you need to know about with these reactors, and how to prevent meltdowns and explosions, things like that. So, one, when you start generating nuclear waste, if there's any waste in a pipe or in a machine and you break it, that will cause radiation and will hurt your world and hurt yourself, giving yourself radiation poisoning. Two, when you look at when you turn this on. There's a few things you need to realize. One is you have a heat capacity value, which is, in my case, 1,068 joules per Kelvin. So as long as your burn rate, looks like I have a max burn rate. All right, well, so you have a burn rate that you can set. As long as your burn rate and your heat temperature isn't more than what your heat capacity allows, you will cause you, like, if you stay below your burn rate and your heat capacity, or if you stay below the heat capacity and your temperature is not too high, you will not cause any damage. However, if you cause damage, your reactor starts to melt down and blocks inside your reactor start to pretty much get destroyed, and that's what causes radiation to escape. The other thing is, I think you have to monitor your coolant and make sure your coolant is being transferred quick enough, and then your heated coolant, your steam, doesn't build up. So, for example, I can turn this on. I'm sorry that it's so loud, but I don't have a coolant problem. My temperature's good. Right now, I've produced a little bit of nuclear spent waste. I don't have any problems right now, and now I could like change my burn rate. So my burn rate, I don't know. Let's just set a burn rate. So as you can see, that's bad. So I ran out of water with the burn rate of 200. So like, okay, so not having enough coolant water is bad. That to 50. Wow. Okay, even 50 is bad. If I just put it at 0. Alright. So maybe I'll make a couple more reactor boards. See if that helps. And I'm just gonna disconnect all these. Because this is faster than all three of these combined. So I'm just gonna get rid of these real quick. The glass back. Yay. That kind of looks ugly. Dang it. Whatever. The only other thing I needed was this logic cable, and the last thing is you set it up using a variable card. If you put this variable card here, this tells this importer, hey, transport fluids from here into here, and then you can actually set the transfer rate, and you can set it to this. This is 9 million. So now I don't have a problem. What's my burn rate? My burn rate's at the 4, right? So if I go to 20. Yeah, so now I don't have a problem. And I can produce more. I'm just gonna go a little nuts here. So I'm at, I guess, a medium here. If I bump this up a bit. Still good. Now if I go to like 400 here. Still good. Surprisingly. Uh, 450. Alright. Okay. As you can see, I got hot and then I started causing damage. So 450 is too much. And now I'm just gonna let this cool, reduce damage. And then 450 is too much. So 400 was okay. I'm gonna play it safe and I'm gonna put it at 380. And when this goes away, I'll turn it back on. So yeah, when you see your temperatures red and then you see damage start going up, that's when you know your reactor's beginning to melt down. And once it hits a certain percent, that's when your blocks will start disappearing. So yeah, this is fine. I have no damage. My temperature's pretty high, but it's not bad. And I'm generating nuclear waste. Not crazy fast, but pretty fast. I almost have 1,000,000 out of 4. So I can only store 4 here. I'm gonna turn this off again. Just to talk about what the plan is. So the next steps, pretty simple. I'll hold on to these. Don't need these. Okay. So when dealing with spent waste, a few things we can do. So when you're not using the spent nuclear waste to make your polonium, right? You need to store it when it's not stored in these. You need to store it in these radioactive waste barrels. So what the waste barrels do is it safely stores radioactive waste. However, if you break it, it will release the contents in the atmosphere, ruining your world. So you have to make sure that the waste barrels are empty before you break them. Now, it doesn't tell you in the description, but it says it here, is it has a decay rate and an actual decay rate. So every 20 ticks, your spent nuclear waste will decay by 1 millibucket, which pretty much means it's doing what a trash can would do, but at a very slow rate. So for right now, I'm just gonna hold on to my 800,000 spent nuclear waste. Actually, this isn't spent. This is just nuclear. Is there different? Yeah, there's actually two different kinds. I didn't even know that. Oh, snap. Oh, okay. So you have nuclear waste. Then, okay. So you have nuclear waste, and then you spent nuclear waste. So this nuclear waste is pretty much what we're going to be using to make a couple things in the future. But I'm pretty happy with the reactor that we built today. Some of these, the multi-block doesn't look that great, but we're fine. So I'm gonna get rid of these. So the reactor definitely works, and honestly, there's not much to. I mean, literally just monitoring this and setting your burn rate to what you want it to, and having somewhere for the coal to go is pretty much all it takes to safely run this thing. It's not that scary. But in the next episode, I think we will set up the solar neutron activator. I think we're gonna need another centrifuge. I believe we are going to be making polonium bell. We're gonna make polonium pellets, and then we're gonna make plutonium pellets. At first, I did only think it was polonium that we need, but we need plutonium. So the way that we're gonna process this in the next episode, I believe, is we're gonna take this guy and we're gonna use him to take the nuclear waste using solar power. It uses solar power, and it will convert it into polonium. And then to make the pellet, we just use a PRC with. I gotta figure out what gas I'm using. We need fluorite dust to be inputted. We need the polonium created from the solar neutron activator. And then we have spent nuclear waste. So I'm going to figure out what I'm going to do with that. And then on the other half, so like we'll have one process over here. I have another process over here. The other process is making this plutonium. So plutonium is a PRC. Or first I have to make plutonium. So plutonium is first made using the centrifuge. So that's a lot of energy there. And I'll have to make 1 millibucket of plutonium in the centrifuge, and then we'll take the plutonium and some kind of gas. Where's hydrochloric acid? I could probably use that. Anyways, more fluoride dust, and these two will make plutonium pellets. And the reason why we need plutonium pellets is because it makes the SPS casing. And I'm gonna need a bunch of these because I thought the SPS was originally just like its own little thing, but nah, it's another multi-block that we're gonna have to build. All right, that's where we're headed. I'm glad this thing works. I hope you guys learned a little bit about how to make this reactor, and how to keep it from melting down. So I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Please leave a like and subscribe if you did, and I'll see you guys next time.